Media.com, and today we are going bold with the experts, and we are on Link to Expert Goodreads Authors Corner. I am Cece Schatz, a doyen of relationship building, and I have my good friend here with me, Joanne Weiland,
co-host, and I'm so excited about sharing with you all the stuff that Jackie can do to make your life easier.
We've got a great guest in store for you. But before we do it, we want to do our homework. I would like for you to know that Joanne Weiland, is the Chief Connections Officer, and she's the founder and collaboration of cloud community linktoexpert.com, which is what our show is named after. And again, I am Cece Schatz, the doyen of relationship building. You can reach us on Going Bold. Goingboldmedia.com, where all of our wonderful hosts and guests are, all of their information is there. Many of them are our elites, and they have their wonderful pages with their links and all of that. And Joe and I have a special page too, so you can join us there and check it out. We would love that. But let's get on with our wonderful guest today, because we do not want to wait any further. We're going to be talking about conscious media relations with Jackie Lapkin. Am I saying it correctly? Welcome to the stage, Jackie.
Hi, ladies. I'm so delighted to be here. It's actually Lapin.
Lapin.
Yeah.
I there a little bit. But your business is called Conscious Media Relations, which is getting you booked everywhere is your motto, which I love that. So tell us a little bit about like why you decided to get into doing what you're doing, and really basically helping authors be seen and heard with regards to their books. So share with us a little bit about that.
Well, I probably should go back and all the way to the beginning of my story. So I was an 11-year. That's right. When I was 11 years old, I determined I wanted to be a sports writer. I put my two favorite things together, the Los Angeles Dodgers and writing, and I said, I can do this. And I'm really pleased to say that, if you dream it, you can make it happen. And so I went on to work at the Detroit Free Press, the Associated Press, the Los Angeles Times, and the Washington Post before I was 22 years old. I went on to have one of the largest sports special events and cable TV PR agencies in America with a world-class client list. You would recognize all of my clients. They were super, famous. And so in the course of doing that, I did that for 20 years and, had my clients all over, everything from Good Morning America to Today Show to the, USA Today, everywhere. But the media started to change. It wasn't much fun anymore. And the rise of politics and the social media, it just wasn't the same. And so I had written 2 books in the space of personal growth. The Art of Conscious Creation, How You Can Transform the World, and Practical Conscious Creation, Daily Techniques to Manifest Your Desires. That was declared the best spiritual book of the year at the International New Age Trade Show. And when I got done with that, I realized that my heart lay with the people who are making the world a better place. People who were changing the world through their words, through their missions, through their books, helping people to go from where they were stuck or in pain or suffering or not making any money to really transforming and expanding their lives. And so that's when, I had just done a radio podcast tour. Well, in that case, it was radio and internet radio tour for myself. And it was the only time, most of the time, at the time, when you did publicity, of course, that's what I've been doing for all those years, you just relied on broadcast radio. But internet radio was on the rise, and nobody had ever put together a list that included the internet radio shows as well as the broadcast radio shows. So I did that to promote my books. And all of a sudden I looked at it and I had a list of 750 shows.
Wow.
I'm thinking, if I can do this for myself, then I should be able to do this and offer my clients to this. There's people out there who need this. Mm-hmm. So that's when I rebranded the company, Conscious Media Relations. And we started doing radio podcast tours, or what are now radio podcast tours. And that really encompassed all of the media that was audio or video cast or internet radio. And we've now been doing that for about 14 years. And I am proud to say that we have a client list of Don Miguel Ruiz, Ariel Ford, James Twyman, Joe Vitale, Chris and Jan Atwood, Maureen St. Germain. And we're just about to launch a book for Marie Diamond, who's got a new TV show on Peacock and a Hay House book coming. And she also was in The Secret, like some of the other folks. And so I am, excited to be continuing that legacy of helping, and of course, most of our folks are not as nearly as famous as those luminaries. We've got 400 other people who basically just wanted to get their words out there. And so that's what we've been doing the last 14 years. And I love it. It's one of my favorite things in life. So.
And let's give you a hand, because since then, you have actually had 10,000 interviews, helping get 10,000 interviews and speaking engagements for your clients. That's huge, Jackie. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Well,
I'm so glad Randy introduced us. 5 years ago, actually, this is how Jackie and I, and Susie especially does it too, collaborated. But 5 years ago, Randy Pizer, that's going to be on our show, I think next week, will be you actually said, to Jackie, you got to meet Joanne. She connected with me. She says, hey, can we sit down and strategize on our synergies and how we could work together? And we've been promoting Jackie for the last 5 years. So I'm just excited to have her on our show.
I appreciate it.
Wonderful having you. I know I personally have used your services, so I can vouch for them because we have interviewed many great authors here on our Authors Corner. And so, I'm very appreciative of you reaching out, sharing, some of the individuals that have written some great books and whatnot. And so, I say hallelujah. I think it's great. So what's around for the future for you? What are you thinking here?
Well, of course, we continue to do these, and we continue to upgrade our lists all the time. We just did a massive revamp on them. And, the way we do this is we send to the 9,000 shows and podcasts. Well, I should go back and tell you the process. The process is that I read the client's book. I write a really compelling pitch letter. And of course, needless to say, I've been a writer for 40 years of my life. I write a really compelling pitch letter and get people like you to respond to. And then it goes out to all 9,000. But that 9,000 consists of broadcast radio, all of the ones that are out there. Then we have a specialty list that includes spirituality, health, self-help, life improvement, all of that kinds of thing. That's a massive proprietary list that we've developed. And we've just revamped and gone and checked all of iTunes and iHeartRadio and Spotify and updated that. And then we have specialty lists like health and wellness and relationships and business and women's business and seniors. And, so whatever the niche is, then we either have a list or we go out and create a list and add that into the mix. And so we're, obviously looking to expand as we get more authors by, getting more niche into all of those areas. And we make it really easy for the author because I also do a full media kit. And when it's all done, they can have that media kit and take it anywhere they want to go and use it for any other purposes. So, so that's the process. It's about 3 months. And we have a couple different ways that people do it. Either we do it all, or we can do it with them where they do some of the work themselves, which reduces the cost. And we just want to make sure that this is something that takes a huge load off of people's shoulders so that they just don't have to worry about it. And it's really good if you're launching a book or want to revitalize a book. It's been sitting around a long time, because most hosts don't care when the book came out, as long as the content is really good. And of course, most of the shows today are video casts. So you're not only getting to talk about your book, you can hold it up and people can see it.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, it's great. I mean, you're kind of like a distribution hub, which is like similar to us. And so like our shows, we do the live shows and then we break them down, share them all with the TV stations, the internet TV stations, and then bring them into the podcast and then share them on all the podcast platforms and then put them up on our live streaming radio stations. So we kind of have the same kind of concept where we really try to do it all for everyone. And so, you're getting the benefits of, over 50 some platforms to be seen. So I totally appreciate that. And I think that that's really important because people need that. They really need to be able to, get their information out. And I love your authors. I mean, there's many that I've had on that I've gotten really great response from, with regards to the content and all of that. So yeah, I think that's great for you to be able to do something like this for sure. So
Well, I think a lot of people think just because they wrote the book, kind of like, if you create it, they'll come. And they don't realize after you do it, that's just the beginning of, you know, that you have to actually be seen, be heard, be known worldwide with ease, is what I say. And that's why what Jackie does and what you do, Cece, and what we do at Link to Expert, it makes their life so much easier because nobody can know everybody, and you can't always be an expert. Like, both of you have such incredible backgrounds to get you to this point to be able to help so many people. But that doesn't happen overnight. And a lot of times, like for an example, one time I thought before I created Link to Expert, I could go to school and learn how to create a website. Well, I did. Well, it looked like a second grader created it. Who the heck would ever want to come to it? Jackie, you mentioned that actually in your 12 things a speaker can't afford to be without. Like you really have to look current and professional. And so that is huge for what you guys can do for them to get them that exposure, because not everybody watches one show or listens to one radio show or even goes on one podcast. You have to be out there. That's why, Cece, I think we're actually at 59 different.
I keep adding almost like every day somebody's contacting me now and saying we'd like to distribute your shows because they like them. So yeah, so I'm just really excited about that. But I agree. It's like, you've written a book and I wrote a book and then what the heck do you do after you write it? It's like, okay, you put it out there on Amazon. Yeah, nobody sees it.
Well, and you're when you're doing the tour, you shouldn't just do one thing. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to just sell a book, you're not going to get rich, for starters. So you really have to have a long tail value. There are two different kinds of authors, I should say. Those authors that just want to get their word out, and they're okay if they just sell books, but they shouldn't expect to get rich. But they have a purpose in mind. They want to change people's lives. Then there are those who see the book as a means to attract people into their community so they can make more of an income from it. And those people should be not only offering the book, but they should be offering something free that will get people onto their opt-in list. So that even if they don't buy the book, they'll have another opportunity to build that relationship and either get them to buy the book or get them into their programs. And many times on these interviews, a host is fine with you making an offer of a program to say, now I've got this event coming up, or this retreat, or this is a program that I do. You don't want to hard sell it in any interview because that's going to really annoy the host, but they don't mind you mentioning it and saying, go to my website and you'll learn more. And people pick up clients. I have a client who is a relationship coach, and he's a PhD, and he's wrote a very powerful book. And he told me that not only did he spoke to 3 to 5 million people when he added it all up on our list, and he sold a goodly number of books. But more importantly, he not only got clients immediately, but because those podcasts are heard, like when they're archived, he was still getting clients a year or two later off of people who heard that. So you need to look, if you're a coach or you're an expert of some sort, at building more out of your shows than just the sale of your book and getting people to that. It's you need to think about, before you get on those interviews, where you want to take the audience. So when we do a media kit, we encourage our our clients to actually give us 20 questions they want to be asked in the order that they want to be asked them. But there's a purpose to those 20 questions. They are a roadmap to where they want the reader to go. So if they want them to actually, get that freebie or, or opt into their program or whatever it might be, the 20 questions basically leads people there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be a plan. It shouldn't be haphazard.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we do exactly what you're saying. We do a tiered marketing because I feel like, and I think you have another word for it, don't you, Joanne, that you do. But I don't feel like and so often so many podcasters do this, when they do the shows, they're just their one show and they just send it out to one place. And that's like a one-hit wonder, right? And so for us, what we do is it's a drip. So it may be on this TV station one week. We have some live streaming now that we've established. So it'll go stream live as it's going to the TV stations too. But it'll be on one place one week, and next place another week, another place another week. So I mean, you're going down, months down the road, and all of a sudden, and I hear this all the time from people, they all of a sudden, oh, my stuff popped up I saw it up on one of the social media sites again. And so we do that all the time, and so it keeps it fresh, it keeps it alive. And the reason being is because the content is still good content. And so why should we just take and put it out there and then just bury it and just never to be seen again? I mean, I think it's a shame. So let's just keep circulating it, because you might not have caught it the first time around as it's come through, and maybe you're on a different platform, like iHeartRadio or Spotify or some of the other ones. You may be listening on something else, on Roku or Amazon TV, Apple TV. We have Bond TV. We have so many different TV platforms now. So you might be listening on that. So I think it's a great idea for you what you've done with the books and getting them out there and sharing them, like that, not just all of a sudden, all at once. I think it's great.
And one of the things that I want to alert authors to is unless you're on live radio, you don't want to give a date for something that's coming up, because it's going to date the interview. So what you do instead is you say to the audience, well, now I do this workshop on such and such. Go to my website, this page, and you'll see when the next one is coming up. So you want to make sure that you keep the interview evergreen and don't date yourself.
Yeah, very good. That's a very good one. Yeah, I love what you do. I think it's great. I think it's awesome that, the authors can come to you. It's a way of distributing. And it's also a place where they can kind of learn, because they don't know. I mean, they've written a book. They don't know all about how to go about doing the media, trying to get out there, trying to get it known. And so it's very, very important to have someone like you that's seasoned, that knows how to do this, and they can just kind of let it go. They can just say, okay, make it happen now.
Well, and there's some benefits too. One, they don't have to figure out what to write, which is what really scares most people. And the other is that, when we do this tour, we put it all on a Google tracking document, a Excel file that everybody shares. And what's great about it is we don't take that down. So let's say in 6 months or 8 months, you want to go back and talk to some of those people, either about another interview or a joint venture opportunity where they're actually going to promote you. You've got that. That's relationship building opportunities. It's not an interview that's one and done and your list goes away. We make sure that if you want to have free contact with them, that's great. But I'm proud to say that we have had at least 4 people that have come back and done this 3 times, because it's easy. They know what to expect. It's well plotted so that they don't have to, that tracking document gives them all the information that they need. Things just don't get lost. We've got a really good system that works, and we try to avert any of the stuff with, oh, I didn't know what time zone it was, or, oh, I put it on the wrong day. So, it makes it great to know that people trust us enough to come back more than once.
Right. Yeah. I really like that very much. And I love what you said about having the book as a leader because so often, even in the podcast world, right, even in the shows here that we do, I've often said, you're to think you're going to get rich doing a podcast is a very hard thing to do, but it's a great leader, because you're edified. And so those authors that are coming on the various different shows and stuff, they're being edified, they're being shown out as an expert in their field, expert in whatever they've written, or in the field of just being an author. And so if they have a website, if they have coaching that they do, if they have something else that they can lead them into, that's really it's a great thing, because it keeps them known, and let their be exposed, so to speak.
They need to be top of mind. Like, I know Don Miguel actually put a testimonial out there that Jackie years ago actually got him on 50 interviews, that he didn't even want all of them just because it was so many. But meaning we have to be consistent, we have to be out there frequently and with fresh information, but still relevant to our core expertise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so key. And even I think one more thing that I just like to share is, I think so many people too think that once they wrote the book, that's all they need to do. Well, on Link to Expert, we actually have 181 ways you can make money with your expertise, but it does start with you writing the book, because the book is the core for you to springboard to create all these other products and services, and many of them are passive and residual. So it's really crazy for people to just think that book, because the average author never sells more than 10,000 copies of their book. And, so like you said, Jackie, they're really, if they're hoping to get rich off of it, good luck. And I mean, I think they might be able to if they use people like your services. But I also know that it's not really realistic if that's the only thing you're planning on doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about the $1 million question that's out there. What about AI?
Oh, well,
That when it comes to writing a book, I mean, they're saying, oh, you can just go to AI and it'll just magically put in the topic and it will magically write a book for you. So what do you think about that?
Well, books that are strictly factual have trouble selling at all. They have to have some essence of you, your personality, your background, your story, what motions that you went through to get to this place. AI can't do that for you. People need to connect with the author in order to make the book work. And that is, sure, you can use the AI perhaps to improve your writing if you struggle with ability to write, but you need to do that first draft. And then, and if you want research, AI is great for, researching certain things. And if you're going to take your content and maybe create that book, and then go in and say, okay, I would like you to write me 3 promotional emails for this, or I want to help me with the cover, the back cover on it. I mean, that's where it works, but not on the book itself. That needs to come from your heart and soul, and use AI where it's appropriate, not in place of you.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I can't imagine, because part of writing a book, and of course, some of it is factual. Sometimes you do get books because you need factual information and that type of thing. But, the creative part of it, AI can't possibly do that. I mean, it can't really do that. I just can't imagine it doing it. But yeah, so I mean, that is all the big talk now about AI. And it's like, oh dear. Maybe I'm just in a different generation. I don't know. But yeah, I think there's a purpose for it, but it can't replace everything, right?
Yes. Oh, no question. It's a great tool. Just use it judiciously.
Yeah. Well, anything else that you can think of, Joanne, that you would like to ask?
Well, I just think Jackie's mission statement is so telling. It is to help leaders, entrepreneurs, coaches, and authors like you that is probably listening, because most people that are listening to Goodreads are authors and speakers and coaches that would like to find and secure their next clients and getting in front of more audiences faster. Jackie and I, for an example, have over 300 mutual connections on LinkedIn, meaning, and we both have about 8,000 or 9,000 LinkedIn connections. Not that I'm saying that's like woo woo, but it also means that we understand that you have to be in front of the right people too, because a lot of times people throw out these numbers, but if they're not targeted, like, with us, we always just go after the experts, consultants, coaches, team builders, trainers, speakers, facilitators, authors, as well as the executives that can hire them, as well as the event professionals that can hire them, and even entrepreneurs, because everybody's good at something, but nobody's good at everything. And then, of course, the media. Those are our 5 targeted markets, just to give you an idea. And Jackie's very similar. And the reason I say that, because if you're just sending it to your friends, family, and neighbors, because a lot of people that do start a podcast or write a book, that's as far as they get. That, and it's a great start, but you have to be able to get out there in front of the right people that can either buy your book, hear about you on the podcast, maybe want to, join your course or whatever. But I think there's so much more than people realize about having a big list. It's a targeted list as well to the right people.
Well, and I think that one of the things that people need to realize is that when they see you once, their mind, but when they see you the second, third, and fourth time, now they're ready to start buying. So yes, it's easier to get them to buy a book, but if you want them to buy your programs, they need to see you. They need to get to know, like, and trust you. And the more interviews you do, the more visibility you have, whether that's on podcast, radio shows, or speaking, or whatever, the other platforms are. And this is exactly what I find, that people don't necessarily always buy from me the first time, but by the third or fourth time they see me, now they're saying, I'm ready. I want to take advantage. So you need to be visible. And so that's really important. Don't forget also, when you're doing this, it increases your SEO. So people find you when they're searching for a subject matter. And it also makes it just more visible when you are trying to establish yourself as an authority. So I think all of those things are really important. And I want to invite people, if they're interested in exploring all this, all they really need to do is go to consciousmediarelations.com, or they can reach out to me at Jackie@consciousmediarelations.com. I'm always happy to have a conversation, determine if your book is right. And you can use that email as well, Jackie@JackieLapin.com. But find me either way. And I'm happy to help people explore if this is a viable opportunity for them. 90% of the time it is. We just have to position you properly so that you get the maximum amount of visibility.
Well, and I recommend they actually download your 12 things a speaker can't afford to be without too. I mean, it's free and it's priceless. The 12 things that you
have a free gift. You have a free gift. Ways to reach your next clients from stages, podcasts, visual summits, and more.
Oh, she has one. Good. Yay.
We have a couple of different ones. This is for if you're going to be out on podcasts, you need to make sure we talked about that lead magnet that gets them into your email list. So one of the ways to do that is take advantage of this. It's 44 ways to seduce your next client from stages, podcasts, virtual summits, and more. And you can just go to speakertunity.com/seduce. Speakertunity is our other company. And we help people get booked for more than podcasts there. But this gift, if you grab that, it's going to be give you, if you think that just giving an ebook and asking for a consultation is the only free opportunity you can give somebody, you are way behind the times. I got 44 ways for you. So grab that and it's going to be a real help for you.
Yeah, I think this is great. So those of you, we'd like to also let you know that Jackie does have another company called Speakertunity. And so it's speakertunity.com. You can go and check it out. We're going to be talking about that on our business showcase. So we hope that you guys will stick around, listen to us on the Link to Expert Business Showcase. If it had already played, not to worry. We've got the rebroadcast for you, so you can check that out too. So you'll see Jackie in both elements there with the speakers and with the conscious media relations. So we want to appreciate you, Jackie, for all that you do, because you really do help a lot of people really get the word out about who they are, like you always say, Joanne, be seen, be heard. What is it?
Be seen, be heard, be known worldwide with ease. I mean, why make it harder? Hire an expert that can help you so that the other people hire you for your expertise. It's really all intertwined. And I think Jackie and Cece are perfect examples of collaborators. And it is all about collaborating because none of us can do it all on our own. I don't care if you're a CEO of a large company, you often have new ideas that maybe on your staff can help you. So you can find an expert and hire them. You can also be known as the expert and people can hire or work with you. So it's really all about us all collaborating and working together and making this world a better place to live, work, and play, because collaborating is meant to be simple, easy, prosperous, and fun. So I welcome people to start collaborating, and that's why we created our collaborative cloud community linked to expert to make it easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Jackie. Any closing words that you'd like to share with the audience?
I just want to say these two ladies are absolutely amazing and wonderful. I love Link to Experts. You've been so gracious in including us. And Cece, we have loved collaborating with you on radio shows and podcasts. So this has been a wonderful opportunity to be here. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to hang with you guys.
Well, thank you so much. Again, we have a free gift for you, Ways to Seduce Your Next Client from Stages, Podcasts, Virtual Summits, and more. Just go to Speakertunity, that's SpeakerTunity.com/seduce, and it's right there on the website. Again, you want to get a hold of Jackie. It's pretty easy. Just go to Jackie at Jackie Lapin. It's LAPIN, Jackie, LAPIN.com, and you can send her a message. Check out the Conscious. If you got a book and you're trying to get it out there, you've got some information trying to get out there, talk to Jackie. She can help you, give you some advice on how to do it. But Conscious Media Relations is her business, and we hope that you will, what we're saying here, getting you booked everywhere. That's what we're trying to do here today. And then we're going to do another show with Jackie. It's going to be on the Link to Expert Business Showcase. So you want to make sure you stick around for that. And we hope that you enjoy the show here with us today. All right, this is the Link to Expert Goodreads Authors Corner. I am Cece Schatz. I have my good friend Joanne with me, and we are really looking forward to being with you guys next time. Again, just go to goingboldmedia.com, all of our information on that. We want to thank WGSN-DB Going Solo Network for having us here today. So we'll catch you next time. Bye.